Oh, yeah! Dig it, brothers, yeah! Brother, yeah, brother. Brother. Brother, yappa pie! Hey, this is Nick from the Arcade Hunters podcast. Welcome you to episode 28. With me, as always, my good pal, Mr. Gerard. Say hi, sir.
Hello.
And on this episode of the Arcade Hunters podcast, we're going to be talking about the new Stern Wrestlemania pinball machine, brother. Dig it. I'm doing like a combination of Hogan and Randy Savage.
I got that.
So, the SAM system is dead. Long live Spike. The new Spike system from Stern was just revealed over at the Consumer Electronics Show. We're going to be talking all about that. We're going to be talking about the brand new WrestleMania pinball machine and a couple of other little tidbits, too.
Yep. So, sit back and listen. Grab a folding chair. Crack it over someone's head. Turn the heel. And enjoy. Episode...
Jesus!
Episode...
my Botchamania.
Episode 28, which is titled, Nick?
It's Sam is dead. Long live Spike, the WrestleMania podcast.
I thought you were going to do it in the Macho Man voice. That's why I turned it over to you.
Sorry. Sam is dead. Long live Spike, brother. Yeah. Arcade Hunters WrestleMania, the pinball machine podcast. WrestleMania 28. Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. Load it with the Warriors. Here we go.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Alright, hello everybody. This is Nick from the ArcadeHunters.com. Welcome to episode 28 of the Arcade Hunters podcast. And with me as always, my good pal, Mr. Gerard. Say hi to the kids out there.
Hello out there and Happy New Year.
Yes, the first episode of 2015. And as everybody else has been saying, where are my hoverboards? Where are my flying cars? And where are my auto-lacing Nikes?
There's actually a patent that was put in, I believe, by Nike for auto-lacing shoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was like, I think a year ago or something like that.
I just want to have the shoes that look like what he was wearing in the movie. I know they did the special, like, McFly Airs.
Yep.
And they did them for his charity. And, you know, they sold for, like, thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was like, that's great that they sold for thousands and thousands of dollars, but I just want to have a pair of the shoes to wear, and I'm like, ooh, I look like Marty. I'll wear my pant pockets inside out. But anyway, welcome to the show. Hopefully you guys liked it over on YouTube. Apologies, you know, as I said, you know, I think 2015 is going to be the year of the new desktop computer for me, since this thing is getting up there in age. I'm still running on 32-bit Vista. Oh my God. And I had to run my run the podcast through on very, very low settings. So if it sounds like shit, then go to the website, download the official version. You can put it on whatever you like. I'll download it right out of archive, I should say. You know, if you don't have the iTunes account and you want to go through there. So it's available to everybody, but just want to get it out there to more of the people.
Sounds good.
So what has been going on? So we had our New Year's special. We did our year in review.
Yep. And
of course, there's got to be more news. So it's going to be more of like a news type of show for us this evening. So
to kind of begin the new year, there's been a lot of arcade-related stuff and announcements and some speculation. So gotta cut you off at least 3 times in every episode.
Oh, it'll happen. Before we get into it, just want to say a big congratulations to our pal Quan over at arcadeworks.net, his Blinking Light Win Kickstarter, which we mentioned a few shows back, as the repair kit to help fix your old NES toasters. Finally passed funding just today. It got funded. He asked for $15,000. He got $44,000 in funding for this project. Now that it's going through, it's going to have a built-in mod chip. So if you guys out there in our PAL regions ever wanted to play some more NTSC games, it won't do anything about the 50 to 60 kilohertz process that makes some of the games play at different speeds, but it's pretty much, he's including the chip inside the BLW that's going to make it work with pretty much every game now. So it's almost like an universal system now. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's working on a new Famicom to NES converter. Very cool.
Yep. And what's the other little tidbit? Can we share that you mentioned?
I'm unfortunate about the Famicom. Well, the Famicom converter. What else was there? I forgot. Catching me off guard.
Oh, something that was purchased from Windy Gaming.
Oh yes, our good friend that runs Windy Gaming sent him a Famicom disk drive. So that's the whole point of why you're not getting both. He's still developing this idea for the Famicom to NES converter, and he wants it to work with the Famicom disk drive that we will put the cartridge in there, and he just wants to make sure it will work with it. So it's essentially, if you have an original disk drive, but for some reason don't have a Famicom, and you want to plug it in through an NES toaster, technically you could do it. So it'll be very interesting to see that. But supposedly he's making it like a little bit oversized, so a lot of people know with some of the Famicom games, they all come in different shapes and sizes. So some of the bigger ones wouldn't work with the Honeybee converter. That was one of the more famous converters that they had back in the day to play all the old Famicom games onto your Nintendo. God, I remember seeing one of those at one of the flea markets in Nassau County. It's like, wow, look how small these games are compared to ours. Where did the chips go? It's like half the size.
Then you bust open a US Nintendo cartridge and it's like, oh shit, that's all?
Yeah, we're paying for a lot of more plastic on that thing.
But that's because Americans don't like small systems. Bigger is better.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the TurboGrafx 16 was a huge empty hunk of plastic, because the nice sleek little PC engine was too small, and based on market testing, Americans want it big.
They want it big.
They want a big hunk of plastic taking up their whole entertainment center, so they can say,
nothing.
Look what I got.
Yeah, it weighs nothing, the T16.
I know, because there's not much in it.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the TurboGrafx 16. PC engine.
Oh, you get a bang for your buck.
Oh,
especially
it's turning
you're a shooter fan. That's the system to be.
Oh god, the PC engine's starting to turn into one of my favorite systems. It's up there now with the 2600 and Saturn.
Now you know. So, pretty much, reported it over on the site and it's actually last time on Sunday, because Sunday I put up about the final Blinking Light win, and then Stern Pinball had just said that they were at the Consumer Electronics Show showing off their new game, and everybody started going around what the rumors were going to be. Everybody thought it was going to be Kiss. They thought it was going to be Motley Crue, and it turns out that everybody was wrong. Nate Shivers over at Coast to Coast Pinball knew what it was right away, because he has a friend that's inside of the other company. But according to it, it is going to be WWE Wrestlemania is going to be the next game from Stern Pinball.
And it looks pretty interesting, despite John Cena, of course, being the main star on the Backlash.
Well, the kids love their John.
Yeah, I was going to say, for justifiable reasons, kids love John Cena. But looking at the play field, it looks kind of interesting. And the fact that it has the new, what's it called, Spike?
It's called Spike. Their old system was called the SAM.
Yep, the new hardware platform, Spike. I was looking through some of the notes, and it looks like they can do a lot with it if they choose to.
Yes, this is what I'm actually looking at, some of the stuff that they brought out, and it just basically says Stern announces next generation pinball system, which is so funny because on The Verge they were there on Sunday, and they got the video out really, really quick. And they're saying, this is the most technologically advanced pinball machine ever made, and the computer controls the lights. I was just like, and someone said, wow, my thing downstairs has been controlling the lights since 1980. But like saying, oh, it's on Linux, but they fail to mention how pretty much, I think, the guys from Spooky are using Linux on it, and as well as the all the guys that are doing the modding with the was it the P2P? I forget what the hell it's called. The ones that they did Cactus Candy Continued. The P-Rock.
Yeah.
Those are all like, Raspberry Pi Linux things. So, it's saying about how, they're easier to use.
I guess you could say this might be, Stern. I would consider Stern the only, I guess, mainstream pinball manufacturer.
They're still the largest.
Yeah, the largest. So
I mean, how many years, was Jersey Jack building machines, and they kept saying, we're the only manufacturer.
Oh, yeah, I love how they changed it. That it's largest.
Like, no, it's like, admit that there's more companies out there, but you say, you know what? We're the biggest. We've been around doing it the longest, and we're the largest. So you can't say you're the best. You have to make some great games to go along with it.
Yeah. So this is like Stern's. It sounds like their first time using more of a computer approach and CPU and like Linux and all blah 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 blah. It's not like amazing. The first independent, like you said, like Spooky and everything. They've been doing that.
And I'm pretty sure Jersey Jack is like a modified Linux too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there has to be something for all the videos on the LCD he has.
So here are the bullet points for the Spike system. An all LED lighting enabled enhances lighting effects, increases reliability, and attracts new players. Included is the fluorescent light replacement. Thank Christ they got rid of the fluorescent light in the back box. And they're using LEDs, which last longer, run cooler, draw less electricity than the friggin' light bright.
Yep.
New modern CPU with expanded memory allows designers greater freedom to create new compelling game scenarios to attract more players and lengthen their engagement. My words are getting mixed up. A more powerful, high-definition digital sound system enhances the game experience, which I don't really see it compared to what the speakers and the woofers that they have on Jersey Jack, and even on the Big Lebowski had some nice sound systems on there. It sounded really, really nice. So it says, more powerful high-definition sound enhances the game experience with higher reliability. New built-in automotive-grade circuit protection for LEDs, switches, and solenoids reduces circuit failures from accidental shorts or environmental faults.
You're reading through the kind of boring list of stuff. Okay, I'm
low-cost modules, increased system diagnostics, easy to learn, greater efficiency, reduces chances, runs cooler, new controllable LED backlighting, lasts longer, all this other jazz. It does not say anything. The one thing that, I was always saying about the Stern Pinball machines that, since, where they could actually come out with the updates that you could put into the game. Supposedly, it sounds like the Spike system will be Wi-Fi enabled.
Yep, that's one of the big ones.
That would be something I would put right on there. Wi-Fi. Instantly update the codes. So, like, you get to some of these fucking locations where the people just don't give a shit. But, oh, guess what? Put the friggin' Wi-Fi password in. So, you know what? It automatically updates the code. So you don't have to put it in. Like, most people won't even bother with it, and you're playing a game with old code.
And it makes a world of difference. The code. We talked about that in an earlier show. You wouldn't think that. You'd think this is something physical. How can code change it? But when it does, it changes the flow. It changes the targets. It makes a big difference. It shifts what you're going for.
I mean, Spider-Man and Star Trek are two of the biggest examples. And you haven't gotten to go to Sarah's Arcade to play Star Trek since the update, which I highly recommend you do.
I know. That's on my list of things to do.
John's Arcade recently did a nice hour and 45-minute tour of Sarah's place. If you guys want to see what a more updated look of it, and he's also got a good couple of shots of the new America's Most Haunted that Sarah got in.
Oh, she got America's Most
Oh,
Haunted?
She's got it. She's got it, and she has she updated the code.
When did he go up there? Is that in the month?
It's pretty recent. He was there. So I mean, like that's something that I would put right on there. And the other thing is, like, people, if you ever see the video that Todd Tuckey does of, I think they had gotten into Metallica, and they were showing how long it takes to update the code on the game. Mm-hmm. It's like a 2.5 hour long process. And that's 2.5 hours that, you know, if you have a machine that's on a location, that's 2.5 hours that the machine could be making money.
Yep.
Period. You know, naturally they want the people to do it like early in the morning to do that. So I don't think they really even said anything about the wanting to upload the code is going to make it any better. And the whole thing is, like, you know, that's the system. And, like, listening to, like, what Todd Tuckey said, and I know other people have had problems with, like, burnt solenoids and stuff like that, but
yep.
Todd was saying, like, about the games that he's been servicing, like, they've all been running good since it's been on the SAM system. But we'll see what happens with this new system. You know, it looks like it uses a lot less. They have 2 Walking Deads there that are opened up. They have one that's running on the SAM system. They have one that's running on the new one.
Mm-hmm. Now, you missed something.
Oh.
Unless, I mean, I'm looking at a details from a release posted on Arcade Heroes, and it mentions that the technologies reduce product complexity, blah, 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 blah. The system is designed to facilitate integration of various display technologies, such as varying size LCD displays,
yep,
both on the playfield and the back box. Key acronym LCD.
Yep.
And it's just like, holy shit. I do love old school dot matrix, but we've had LCD technology for how long?
Mm-hmm.
Jersey Jack has it in The Wizard of Oz.
And they've got it in what do you call it, in Big Lebowski.
In Big Lebowski. Friggin' I forgot the company, but the company that did the they kind of did it just for themselves, the friggin' Duck Hunt pinball game.
Yep.
I mean,
and also Highway with
yep,
with their new one.
Now it looks like WrestleMania.
Well, here's what they said about WrestleMania. Now we're jumping the gun, going right into.
I was just talking about the Spike hardware technology, not just WrestleMania.
Well, with WrestleMania, they're talking about where he said LCDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the limited edition, they're going to have a Hulk Hogan limited edition
awesome.
Of it. So 400 limited editions will be autographed by Hulk Hogan,
mm-hmm.
and maybe John Trudeau, who's the designer. But it says the 3 extra things that are on it. The first thing it says. Now I'm going ahead. It says, mm-hmm. The ball is always wild when it comes into contact with the LE's exclusive Chaos spinning disc, while a third Wham arm flipper allows mm-hmm. players to knock the ball off of a wire ramp. So it sounds like the game's going to have a spinner
mm-hmm.
in the middle of the game that's not present on this Pro model. They have not, as we're recording this, they have not showed off anything of what the LE looks like. But here's the other thing. This is the biggest thing. It says above the wrestling action. It says actual WWE wrestling action is projected on the LE's replica Titantron playfield level 5.7-inch LCD directly above the ring.
That's awesome.
So they're going to have a LED or mm-hmm. LCD display in the machine that's over the main toy of it, which is, it looks like a little ring that you use the buttons to flip the flippers. Everybody thought, like, oh wow, they're going to bring back the magnet flippers from the Twilight Zone, but no, it's actually just flipper bumpers that you manually control when the ball goes up there.
It sounds like Stern's might possibly be picking up the pace now that they're noticing there are other competitors rising up.
Oh yeah,
with pinball, they can't just kind of sit back and let mediocre things come out. Sounds like there's. I mean, I'm still not a big fan of all the different versions of the same table.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you should make one version, and that should be the one.
Yes.
And like, aren't they doing Walking Dead limited editions?
Well, the thing is, the Walking Dead limited editions actually sold very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think what they're doing now is they're going. That was the problem with Mustang. Supposedly, according to Nate on Coast to Coast Pinball that I was listening to the other night, and I hate when I keep referencing.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's getting a premium version, not limited edition.
Yes, it's getting a premium version. Mm-hmm. It sounded like the multiple versions of Mustang didn't sell well.
Yep.
So it sounds like what Stern's going to do from now on is they're going to keep up with the two versions. They're going to have a regular and they're going to have a limited edition. If the limited edition sells well and they have a reason to do it, they'll make they'll make a premium edition that'll have, an alternate cabinet and alternate playfield, but you're not getting the extra brass bells and whistles that the LE has, with the individually numbered plaques and stuff like that. For them, it's like, I think more people would spend more money on it or not. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. But I was just going to say, it gets kind of frustrating because if you're a fan of pinball and there happens to be an FEC or arcade in your area and they choose to buy the less expensive one, you're probably going to be sitting there wondering about, especially in this case, the friggin' turntable and everything.
Yeah. What's the spinner going to be like?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the ball that shoots? And I mean, it was the same when we played Star Trek, because there's going to be a special edition, but it's kind of weird. With some of the games, I feel like the Pro model plays better because, the LE stuff that they add in is great. It has extra lighting and stuff like that. It looks better, but some of it's more, I hate to use the word because I sound like I'm using fancy $3 words, superfluous.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So it sounds like they design... It seems like maybe they designed the base model, and that's a game.
That's definitely what they did with Avengers. They had a base model, and they put more crap onto it, and it was just such a friggin' hodgepodge with Avengers. It was way too much.
So, so it's like, okay, now for the premium, we're going to add this, this, and this, and okay, I see what you're saying. So at times So maybe if you're playing the cheaper version of the game, you might be saying to yourself, well, at least they didn't get the expensive one.
Yeah. You can look at... it depends on the type of player, because, I was playing the premium Star Trek in Las Vegas. And it's just the same with, every pinball machine is going to play different. For me, my Star Trek is still the one at Modern. I'm so used to the way that one plays than going to a brand new one, but I like it in the regular Pro models with Star Trek, where it has the one warp ramp on the left. It just has a kick out, and the thing with the kick out, it's always random on it. With the LEs and the premiums, it goes up a little VUK, a vertical up kick, and it goes down a wire ramp, and it feeds it to the left flipper, and it doesn't have that thing of randomness that it's in the Pro. I kind of like that a little bit better. And even some people, I think with Avengers, people were saying the regular Pro models played smoother than the other one. It still didn't make it a good game, just the way it was just designed, where you could just screw with one of the ramps over and over again. So, yeah, they're showing, I'm on Pinball News. Pinball News is another great site, and they actually show the wiring. They show wiring of a Walking Dead with the SAM system and a Walking Dead using the spike system, and you can see there's a lot less wires in it connecting everything. It's more just main wires going to it, which
Makes...
it really looks like the bottom of the America's Most Haunted that I saw. It was very not a lot there compared to like just the hodgepodge of wires that's in everything.
That's got to make maintenance so much easier.
Yeah. They're not doing they're sticking with the watch battery, so you don't have to worry about like the battery acid leaking all over the board and stuff like that. So let's talk about the game itself. We've been how long have we been bitching and we haven't actually talked about the game?
Well, we haven't really been bitching. We've been talking about the hardware.
Yeah, we're talking about the hardware. Which is not a lot of people going to talk about the hardware.
Oh, I know, but I'm sorry. When I saw, I still think, and though I still want a little bit more on the hardware. I just want to say the Wi-Fi. I'm curious if they're going to try to go the route that the big Buck Hunter games have gone with the high scores and the competitions and everything.
Yeah, that would be great to see.
Are they going to take advantage of the Wi-Fi and be able to have it connect to a website? I mean, how cool would it be to play a pinball game and then be able to go to like a Stern High Score website or a Stern Top whatever and filter the scores by right down to region, area, or the whole country? I mean, there's so much. I mean, that's a lot of crap that Japan is doing. Yeah. With online stuff, it'd be cool to see. I mean, I would have never. The last thing I would ever think that a pinball machine would have would be fucking Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this is saying like right here from Pinball News said the Spike system apparently runs on Linux, which is stored on an SD card. So there you go. You just write it to the SD card, and hopefully it'll load the information off of there. You're not using the USB thumb drive anymore.
Yep.
And it says 2 USB sockets. Well, it says right there, 2 USB sockets sit at the bottom for software updates and possibly for a Wi-Fi adapter to download over-the-air updates, record earning, and fault information, and maybe to provide wide-area network-hosted tournaments.
Yep, I mean, it's it's nice to see Stern upping their game.
And says, although the Spike system is driving a regular dot matrix display in WrestleMania, the hardware can drive number of different display types, even has VGA and HDMI outputs available. And it does say about the limited edition is going to have the 6-inch LCD screen on it. So, sorry about that. I had a chicken pot 5 in there.
I was going to say, I hope Sarah gets this game so I can play it when it comes out.
Well, that's the thing. Now, let's talk about the theme. Now, if you haven't listened to the Arcade Hunters podcast, you'll probably know Gerard and I are big wrestling fans. We've been big wrestling fans. Well, I've been since I was a little kid, right?
Yeah, I'm like a born-again wrestling fan.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
What got me back into it was the WWE Network.
Which is a surprise because a lot of people hate the network, but it's like, we love it. It's like, wow, I can go watch the Attitude Era again. You just sit there and go, holy shit, this is so much better than what they're putting on now.
Yeah, but also I did the free trial, the 2-week free trial. I was watching the old stuff, and I figured I'd watch some of the newer stuff, and I started to get back into it. I watched some of the pay-per-views. Now I'm watching Raw. Now I'm occasionally, when I have time, watching NXT.
Which is the best? What's the best stuff that they're producing?
Yeah, as far as straight up wrestling goes. Yeah.
Did you watch our Evolution yet? Like I asked you.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And was it not awesome?
It was awesome.
That was the best. That was better than WrestleMania. On another wrestling tangent, you got to check out the guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. They put up their Wrestle Kingdom 9. Mm-hmm. They have it on demand. They got to find where I can actually get it. I don't think Cablevision here in Long Island carries it, but they did their Wrestle Kingdom 9 from the Tokyo Dome, and they got Jim Ross and Matt Striker.
That's awesome.
Because what's he doing? Like they said, you know what? We need somebody to officiate the matches, so they got Jim Ross and Matt Striker, who is also in the WWE covers for him.
I thought Jim Ross has been busy doing side commentary for Thomas the Tank Engine.
Why? Tell me why. And that was one of the things that Bo and Karen said. It sucks that technically the reason why Jim Ross doesn't work for the company anymore, supposedly he got fired because he was quote unquote drunk at the WWE video game launch. And he was just like making these weird offhanded comments, and supposedly like they got really pissed off at him, and they said, like after you do WrestleMania, that's it. Like that, you consider your contract gone. And it was just like they have 3 people. They have Jerry the King Lawler, Michael Cole, and John Bradshaw, and 3 of them are not half of what Jim Ross is on commentary.
Yeah. Though I do have to say the 3 do occasionally have their moments. Occasionally do okay, but it's not Jim Ross.
It just sucks because the way Vince McMahon wants everything done, they have to read off the cue cards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they don't just let the match go and like let you hear the audience and like hear a slam and stuff like that. They have to sit there and show the network. So
what I can't stand is when they sometimes they'll go to show and cover an instant replay. And while they're doing that, they fucking miss something. Or like you said, when they're shilling the network, at least they toned down on the $9.99 thing. They were missing key, like you said, key spots. They're concentrating on them talking about the network and what a deal it is. This camera was on them, and there's something amazing happening in the ring.
Yeah, it was like I went back and I watched WrestleMania 17 or X7, which everybody considers like one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. And the commentators are Jim Ross and the Paul Heyman.
Yep.
And they're amazing together because Paul Heyman's, filling the shoes of Jerry the King Lawler. He's being the heel,
and he's a showman, and he's a talker and a showman.
Yeah, he's a fucking carny.
Yep.
And even he admits it. He's a fucking carny. He's a friggin' but it's the 2 of them. You have the old style like, oh, Jim Louise, my God. And it just sucks that, he's not going to... Bo and Karen said, when you tilt the game, it should say, why? Tell me why, you son of a bitch. Or it's like, good God almighty, the game's broken in half. But hopefully now that it's on Linux, someone will find a way to hack it. And they'll put some Jim Ross sound clips on there. So, when you look at the game, and this sucks, we're doing a podcast of, I'll be putting the videos... in the video thing for YouTube, I'll be putting the photos of the game. But, it's got the obvious draw to the game is the top, where it is a little miniature wrestling ring with the kick bumpers that look like WWF wrestling ropes.
Yep.
So you bounce the ball back and forth in there, and it kind of gives me a very reminiscent of Stern's World Poker Tour, where it had the top playfield that, even though it's got the whole bottom playfield, pretty much more than half the game just takes place in that little tiny area of the playfield. You're just sitting there playing that the whole time, seeing how much you can keep the ball in there. And it's just like that with World Poker Tour. So I really like World Poker Tour, so I have a good feeling about this. Supposedly, from what I've been reading online, is that this is being designed by John Trudeau, who unfortunately did Mustang, which not a lot of people liked. But supposedly he was saying that he had a lot more time to work on this than he did with Mustang, so hopefully that's the proof will be in the pudding. And hopefully now that they have this new system and they can hopefully put more rules on it. From the video that they had that Stern actually put up on their YouTube channel, it's just playing the War is War theme song. I can't think of the song. But it's just playing that, and there's just regular... Like, there's no... They said that Jerry the King and Michael Cole are going to be doing the shot calls for it. Which is going to be hard because Jerry the King Lawler is in the hospital, so it sounds like it's probably going to be all Michael Cole. Unless they get JBL to do it. So what do you think of the game from looking at the photos?
I'm excited. I've been looking at the playfield. I like that center ring. I like the 2 side ramps. The high flying kind of. It looks like Daniel Bryan image looks kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that worries me is, and I'm hoping that it doesn't get boring.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking, there's really not a whole. It doesn't look like there's that much.
Yeah, it's hard to tell underneath of what's going on underneath the ring. There's probably pop bumpers, like if you play. Because the thing is, when you play World Poker Tour, that area is translucent. It's on plastic, but this one, it's all covered up. So it could be like in that where there's pop bumpers underneath there, and I don't know, like if when you make those ramp shots, does it automatically go into the mini play field, or can you loop it? I don't know if it looks like if you can loop it or not.
It looks like you might be able to loop it. It looks like it has some pegs or pins, like old school pinball, almost to trickle down into the ring.
Yeah.
And there's a centerpiece, so it's not like shooting crap up the center. It looks like there's might be one pop bumper in the ring. Maybe a drain, that's where Daniel Bryan is, to come out of the ring. Looks like it's supposed to be like if you go down there, you're jumping off the ropes.
Yeah.
But
what a maneuver.
Yeah, I just hope it's not as simple. I hope it's not too complex, but at the same time, I hope it has a good flow. It looks very open.
Yeah.
In the lower part. I mean, what do you think?
It does look like it's got a lot of open space, and like it kind of has like as a lot of people call it, the fan layout.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm getting a vibe from the Mustang, because it has the WWE drop targets in the middle where the shift drop targets were.
Yep.
That's like you go for the tag champion, you go for the Intercontinental, the U.S. champion, and finally the heavyweight champion will be on there. And they have photos from The Verge. I'm looking at they even said on I was surprised, one of the wrestling news video sites that I watch on YouTube said it'll be yours for the princely price of $5,500. Like that. Which I think a lot of people were expecting, like, you know, they were going to come out with this new system that was going to use less boards, and like the games were going to be cheaper. I was like, I don't think you're going to get this any less than $5,000 when it comes out. No,
but even that $5,000, I mean, for how much some of the other tables go for, that's not too terrible.
Yeah. No, the proof is in the game. You know, I would not tell anybody to go out. You know, if you're a diehard wrestling fan, you know, definitely go and see if you can play it in the wild. I don't know how. Like, as we said, no, it's too early to tell. There's one, you know, low-quality cell phone video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's barely any code in it. It just, as I said, it just has the song. It doesn't have any shot calls from Cole or Lawler in it. And that gets on to another thing that I wanted to talk about. It was a lot of the folks on Pinside were complaining about the game. And just pretty much, oh my God. I thought Mustang had backlash. This team's got a lot of backlash. It just makes me wonder, like, if we were, you know, in the 90s, if we had the internet as big as it was, you know, now. Because, you know, obviously there's a lot more people that are out there that can get all the information now, but it's just like instant feedback that you hear, and everybody's just like, one of the things on, you know, wrestling people are getting, you know, a lot of wrestling fans like it, but the pinball people are like, oh, this is just for a bunch of country bumpkins that have no teeth, and they drink Mountain Dew and screw their sister in the backyard. And
to the extreme.
Yeah, to the extreme. Mountain Dew and Doritos. That's Call of Duty fans. Or sorry, Call of Duty fans. We apologize. But, you know, it's like, and then Nate did a whole thing about talking about how wrong everybody is, because, you know, wrestling is worldwide.
Yes.
It's always, like we were just like I had just mentioned the Japanese guys from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Japan's got a huge thing. Europe's got wrestling federations. Mexico, of course Mexico's got wrestling. Holy shit. Lucha Libre, they have wrestling. And WWF is the largest one in the world.
WWE.
I'm sorry, WWE. They lost the wildlife fund.
Yep.
And they're the largest one in the world. These guys are known all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena, he's the poster boy. He's been the poster boy for over 12 years now, which a lot of people hate because he's been doing the same character for 12 years.
Yeah.
It's a little stale. I think he's got kind of like the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat kind of thing where he's too much of a nice guy, so he'll never go heel.
Yep.
Which means a bad guy in wrestling.
Yep.
In wrestling land. So, I just find it funny that the people on Pinside are complaining and saying like, "Oh," I was like, but one of the things that if you look up the prices for tickets, you're talking like over $1,000 to sit at ringside at any of these shows.
That plus, as early as I want to say, I think it was as early as August. If you watch any of the pay-per-views or wrestling, they started pushing deluxe packages for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like over half a year away at that point. And I mean, big money is spent on this. And the type of people that are fans that spend that amount of money would easily have the cash to buy a pinball.
Oh, yeah. They're
table.
spending $1,000 to go to a show just for the tickets to the show. You got this game that's going to have all your favorite wrestlers in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, even talking with Jumble Junkie, he said, the original Data East Royal Rumble was one of his Grail games because that was one of his favorite eras of wrestling. For me, I would have loved to have seen this come out during the Attitude Era, which would be friggin' awesome if they had all the curses, which I don't think Bally or Williams would have allowed it.
I would kill to have a Gold Dust toy or a Shattered Dreams mode if we're going the Attitude Era.
Going to the pop bumpers and he just keeps kicking the guy in the balls on the LCD display.
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't done that in years.
No, I know.
I miss the Shattered Dreams.
I know.
But, there's fans, and the other thing is, obviously, being a wrestling fan, I get on into the tirade about the game because when you look at the machine, it's got Sheamus's big goofy mug on it twice on both sides of the cabinet. It has Cesaro, but it's his back being power slammed by Big E Langston, who fucking sucks.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt briefly. When I first started watching some few episodes of Raw that were older that were on the network, it was when Ziggler was having a back and forth with Cena, and Big E is his bodyguard comes out, and he has the worst haircut. He looked like a friggin' Urkel on steroids,
or Carlton Banks on
steroids. Carlton. Yep, Carlton Banks on steroids. Yep, but his haircut was even dork. It was just horrible, and I'm not a fan.
I feel bad for him. He's got a really bad gimmick now. The new.
Oh God! Don't even start with that. It's horrendous.
But it does. Of course, WWE's trying to push Roman Reigns. So who's on the front panel? It's Roman Reigns next to John Cena. I'm surprised they did give Bray Wyatt. I'm glad Bray Wyatt's on the back box.
Yeah.
But people are all making fun of it, saying that I posted it over on OSW Review. I said, "Hey, Noggers, Nick from the Arcade Hunters here." I said, you guys might want to see that they're coming out with a WrestleMania pinball machine. It may be in a pub near you, but I don't know how many in England will get one. But it's got Brock Lesnar.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's got 4 matches a year Lesnar on it.
Yeah, so someone said, it's got Brock Lesnar on it, so you can only play the game 4 times a year. And Triple H is on, Triple H and his wife are on the goddamn game. It's got friggin' Stephanie is on the start button. Triple H is by the plunger.
But that at least makes sense going with...
Because of the authority thing that they're doing.
And where are they? They're on the front right where the money goes.
Yep. It's best for business.
Yeah, exactly. To me, that makes sense. But
I'm glad that Dean fucking Ambrose is on the right side of the machine.
Yep, I'm looking at that now.
Ziggler's next to it, but his hair's all really weird.
Yeah.
And Paige got on it. Thank God, I love Paige. Because they obviously would not get AJ Lee on it because she's pretty much gone.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice if Punk didn't leave and they had Punky on there, but no Punky. You know, you have to have Paul White, you have to have the Giant and Kane. I like that they went with old school Kane with the mask and not the doofy corporate Kane.
Yeah, they have Daniel Bryant on the left side of the back back box, and is that Undertaker on the right side?
Yep.
Okay, I thought
So
the picture's a little blurry.
Other than Hulk Hogan on the limited edition, Undertaker's the only guy that's on both Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. He's in both pinball machines. That's how long he's been in the business. It's like, you have to have Undertaker on. I don't care if he lost to
lost the streak.
Now the thing is, like, you know, what a lot of people that are wrestling fans were saying that they like the idea that they're bringing the game back, that they're going to have a new game, but you know, they don't want the current stars because it was the problem that they had with Data East. If you listen to any of the stories about Data East making Royal Rumble, the biggest problem they had was it was a revolving door at that time of talent. They kept coming in and coming out, and there's an amazing translite that was never used that you can buy from a bunch of secondhand shops. Of, you know, it's got Roddy Piper and Ric Flair and the Ultimate Warrior and all these other Macho Man Randy Savage, a bunch of these guys all over it. And they said by the time the game came out, he said they kept having to redo the machine because so many guys were leaving the company, so they couldn't keep the game into production. So, you know, Brock Lesnar's immediately going to age the game because I don't think the game is going to be out and he's going to be, you know, back in UFC.
And that and I don't know why they definitely threw him on there because of the little drama between him and Cena. But again, for someone who does like 4 matches a year, and like you said, someone who's going to be on their way out to UFC, why even if he's on the far left side, why throw him on there?
Yeah.
But to get back to you're talking about the people on pin side complaining about the theme. Nowadays, it seems like the most common place to come across a pinball machine is at a place like a large movie theater.
Yeah.
In a little waiting area, an arcade area. Now, if you go to a large movie theater and it's loaded with kids and young teens, what type of shirts do you usually see them wearing?
Yep.
Wrestling shirts. Yeah. What demographic is this game aimed for? I mean, it's aimed for wrestling fans. It doesn't look like they made it any simple like a kid's game, but that's what they're going for. They're going for people who will buy this game and throw it in a movie theater or a FEC center.
Family entertainment.
Yep, family entertainment center. Places where you're going to have kids' birthday parties. You're going to have lots of people waiting around who have kids or young adults or teens who watch wrestling, and they're immediately going to go to it. Even if they've never played pinball in their lives, if a young kid sees freaking Cena on the back glass, it's going to be like a magnet, like white on rice. They're going to go over there and play it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why...
Like, other than the Attitude Era, wrestling has always been for kids. It's always been the larger-than-life personalities, big fancy, extravagant details. It's... And no, someone's going to say, oh, it's for kids. Like, it's for the child in us all, sir.
Yes.
It's still real to me, damn it.
I mean...
And so, definitely
I was going to say, we're sitting here doing a podcast about friggin' arcade games.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And pinball machines.
And pinball machines, yep. But yeah, exactly. So obviously it's for the kid and us all, and that's their target demographic. That's what they're going for. And that's who's going to buy the machines, and that's how Stern's going to make money. And with this theme, I think it's going to be more attractive than some of the previous themes they've had.
And they're still complaining that it's not an original theme. It's like, get over it. I don't think they're ever going to do an original theme unless
they do like production for...
Yeah, they're doing production for Big Juicy Melons. That's about it.
Yeah.
But there's the guys over at Heelbook. Great comedic guys from... they have They have amazing shirts that you can buy from their website. Go to heelbook.com, and they just posted one today, and I said, I'm buying that. I don't care. I'm buying it. I don't care how much it costs to get shipping from the UK. But it's more of a slant to Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon, the owner of the WWE, had a podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was arguing with him about using the brand sports entertainment. Which is Stone Cold's just like, no, I'm a professional wrestler. That's what I do. That's my job. I'm a pro wrestler. So he was like saying, no, you have to say you're a sports entertainer. And like Stone Cold's like, I disagree with that. So Heelbook made a shirt that I'm going to wear to whenever they do the launch party for this game. It says, I apologize for being a fan of pro wrestling, but in red letters over it says, I apologize. It says, I do not apologize for being a fan of professional wrestling. So that's going to be the shirt that I wear when they do the launch party at Modern Pinball.
I was looking at...
I was just like, all these people that are going to come in and just like, it's for a bunch of pissant yokels. They're like, come on, man.
I was looking at that shirt, and then the other shirt, it was better in the 90s.
Yep. And they also have It's Better in the 80s.
It'd be, if the game ends up being awful, that would be the shirt to wear while playing it or doing a video.
Yep. Well, then you had Royal Rumble, because you have a game to compare it to. So
exactly. That's the joke.
So the thing is, like, I guess we're just going to make the whole podcast about this game. I'm sorry, because we were talking before on some of the other stuff. They're talking about like what the limited edition was. And I would love to see it. Not just, it sounds like it's going to be all Hulkster brother.
Yeah.
Hulkster brother. It's going to be yellow and red. That's the only two colors that are going to be on that goddamn game. It's going to be all Hulkamania.
Except the top of the back box is going to be a little balding.
Yep. Shut up, brother. But I really think that they should have went with like Legends of WrestleMania. So it could have been that happy medium that would please, like, I say, with wrestling, there's like 3 decades. You got the current stuff that's going on now, the 2000s, and, even like, we're in 2015, so that's an extra 15 years to add on to another decade. So, you can have your John Cena, you can have your Triple H, you can have your Brock Lesnar, but also, I would love to see, the Attitude Era guys. I would love to see, Stone Cold, Rock is in the game, but not Stone Cold. It sucks because I was more of a Stone Cold mark than I was a fan of The Rock.
Yeah.
But Rock, when he picks up that microphone, like I swear to God, I wish I was at the Barclays Center when he came back, and he was, he picks up that microphone, everybody just goes, "Oh my God, this guy's amazing!" Like, where has this guy been? He could be 60 years old and he can still chew out anybody on the mic that's active in wrestling. He's that good. But, also get the 80s guys. You can have Hogan, you can have Andre, and you gotta have your Macho Man. Ooh, yeah! Macho Man, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Ric Flair, since they own both companies, I don't think they're gonna have the man named Sting on there. Or the Vigilante Sting, which they have to call him, supposedly. I fucking hate that. The Vigilante Sting. Like, no, he's just the man called Sting. That's his name. But, or just make a CM Punk AJ Lee combo unit. A his and her. The 2 best in the world, and we'll never see him again. They fired him on his wedding day. Vince McMahon, Triple H, eat my butt. But
very compassionate.
I'm looking forward to it. We got John John Trudeau's on it. He's made some amazing games. He's been in the business for over 30 years making great games. Creature from the Black Lagoon, TX Sector, Genesis.
I was going to say Creature from the Black Lagoon was still one of my favorites.
It's unfortunate with Mustang. Hopefully they'll get some more better code updates in that to fix it up. I have a video coming up of the new code on it, but the UI was down on the game, so it's very dark.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, screw it, I'm going to take a video of it anyway. I'm just going to show people. This is what it looks like when half of the lights don't work on a game. Because there's a blown fuse on it that they have to fix. Arcade quality.
Hashtag.
Hashtag arcade quality. So, how are we on time, Gerard?
We're almost at the hour. I was just going to say, I'm very looking forward to the game. Wrestling is the theme. It's something that, like we said before, really, it's for the kid in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going up and playing a wrestling themed arcade game or pinball of any kind is going to bring.
This is technically the second wrestling show that we've done.
Yeah.
On an arcade game podcast, because we did wrestle. Well, it was the week before WrestleMania. We did the wrestling podcast.
Oh, not WrestleMania. We did it was before, I think, SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, it was SummerSlam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did the wrestling.
Look it up. It's called WrestleFest.
Yep, exactly. And that's the thing. It's a. The hell are you doing?
I'm sorry.
That
was my water bottle. I was just taking a drink.
Oh, okay. I just heard a slap. I thought you were smacking.
That was something else.
No, I thought you were smacking the computer or something. No, but yeah, it's a theme that brings out the kid in all of us. I know I'm excited to play it. I'm gonna feel like I'm back at Spaceplex, coming across a game that I've been like like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, coming across something that just gets my attention. I want to play. It's gonna bring me back, and that's gonna be awesome. Now, hopefully, it just turns out good.
Yes, get some good solid code on it.
Mm-hmm.
Get some do something unique with the mini playfield that you can do different games and stuff on it. Make the get in it. Find out if you can. I know supposedly they said like using the WWE was a good license because they're very approachable with using everything. Because obviously they got all the likenesses for all those guys.
Yeah,
I want to see them get Cena in there to do some custom things. Have friggin' Triple H scream at you and stuff like that. I'd rather have Triple H screaming at me because he's such a fucking bastard.
Oh yeah.
Than Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
no, you can't get JR. JR was obviously the perfect host, but
imagine if like when the ball drains or when you lose your game or something like that, and you have Triple H's voice telling you put in another quarter or something. It's good for business, something like that. I mean, there's so much you can do. Stephanie
curses you out and stuff like that. Because put $1 in the game. It's best for business.
Yeah,
it's best for both of us.
Or the ball drains and you have Stephanie doing the no chant.
Yeah. Or you get an extra ball. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many things. There's so many. You can almost call them subtleties. So many.
Like the ball saver would be John Cena saying, "You can't see me," and then back in.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many things you could do that it would the fans would go apeshit over it. Kids would go crazy over it. They'd be bugging their moms for another. They'd probably be wanting to skip whatever movie they're going to see to play that more.
I say you press the start button, the entire game turns off, and you just hear Bray Wyatt go, "We're here," and the game goes on.
Oh, how cool would that be if all the lights shut off and they just have like the light colored lights like you see in the arena from all the people's cell phones when he comes out. I mean, there's so many things they could do. They could really have fun with the license. Even with the modern stuff, they can have a lot of fun in a pinball game with the license. So hope it would be cool if they went that route instead of just making a generic wrestling game and throwing WWE likeness on it.
Yeah. And I don't know, hopefully, that's what I think hopefully it'll be good. I've said that about a couple of other games where I said, "Oh man, I think this game's going to be great," and then you finally play it and you're like, Ugh. But there's other games that I didn't think that were going to be that good, and turned out surprising me. I hate to say a lot of them are the Steve Ritchie games, because Steve Ritchie just has that whole thing where the games are just like they're too hard, and then you sit there and you put a little time and you put some effort and you actually learn how to play it, and they're really, really fun. They're really challenging games. Just interesting.
I was going to say, I mean, we had some other new games coming out that we were going to talk about, but we we're big wrestling fans. So
We're marks.
So that got us all caught up in it.
I'm sorry.
Oh no!
I was just like, when I saw that on Sunday, and I said, "Oh shit, the new game's WrestleMania." I said, as long as there's the regular photos that Stern puts out, I said that's going to be the entire show that we do this week. It's going to be WrestleMania,
and it was not a stretch to do it. Now, some of the things I'd like to think about for going into the future with the show. It would be cool. There's maybe next week we'll do kind of a roll call or update of a couple other games that we didn't get to this time. And there's been quite a few arcades opening up over the past 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to touch base on that since obviously this is an arcade podcast. I can safely say I'm pretty sure that there's no other podcast where they're announcing new arcades opening up and how to find out about them.
Yep.
And then
Nanuet opening up in upstate New York.
Yep.
Nanuet Arcade.
And then as we go on into the year, since this is our first podcast of 2015, we still have plenty of arcades that we visited that we can go on and on about too.
Oh yeah.
I would love to do an episode on. I just thought of this today. I'd love to do an episode on Fun World in Nashua.
Oh God!
And I don't think we talked too much about. One of the
most divisive videos that I've ever gotten because I think the employees found the video and sent it off to the people that run Fun World, and they were like making fake accounts saying this place is fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. It's clean. It's fresh. I was like, I wasn't doubting the cleanliness and the tenacity of the workers. I was just saying that some of the games I played weren't in the best of shape. You could tell definitely that was from someone that worked there that had an agenda.
Yeah, and it may be clean. You might have vacuumed the floor, but that does not get rid of the nasty brown stains.
And the fact that you're still charging $1.75 to play
broken games.
Yeah, they sit there and they advertise on the site. Oh, this is getting people a little bit bag for the buck.
Yep.
Here in the next episode.
A little tidbit.
Well, it'll just be the Fun World episode.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at they have a Galexian 3, and they advertise that they have a Galexian 3. And when you get there and you play it, it's just... I was just like, I was so excited, and it just killed the wind in my sails, baby.
Didn't we we did a comic about it, too.
Oh, yeah.
We did a comic about it, because we literally made the trip. That was one of the main reasons to make the trip up to New Hampshire from Long Island, New York. Yep. It was like, holy shit, a Galaxian 3. You're never going to find this anywhere. And we figured it was in good condition. No one else had videos of arcades or reviews up. And here it is. This giant...
And especially of that game.
Oh, yeah. And then you have the big ass on the website.
Got it.
Yep, and on the website, it was advertised as like one of the biggest things and reasons to come there. Mm-hmm. It was like that was that and like their indoor carousel and roller coaster.
Yep.
That's going to be a fun episode if we talk about Fun World next week.
I still say it's worth it.
We'll
just put that in the short.
Yeah, I haven't been there in I think 2 years, but whenever I'm in the area, I do stop off there because they do have some good stuff. It's
hard to believe that your little, the little granite state, New Hampshire's got 3 places to check out. You got, isn't, no, I'm pretty sure they're in Massachusetts.
Woohoo.
Pinball Wizard, aren't they in?
No, that's Salem, New Hampshire.
Oh, that is Salem. I'm sorry.
Yep, Salem, New Hampshire. It's close to the Massachusetts border.
Yeah, they're right on the border.
But yeah, no, that's...
like as soon as you get out of Massachusetts and into New Hampshire, you're there. You're at the thing for it. But then you have Nashua.
Mm-hmm.
It is Nashua. That's how you correctly pronounce it. We got yelled at. I said Nashua, and they said no, it's Nashua.
It's Nashua.
Like Nashua, like Nashville, Tennessee, and fuck, I said it wrong. So you got Fun World, and then you go up more north, you got Fun Spot. So you got 1, 2, 3.
Screw the state of Iowa. As far as I'm concerned, New Hampshire is the arcades, is the video game. state.
That was before they knew any better. It was like, you got a little tiny arcade in a strip mall, and that's the arcade capital of the world.
Yeah, video game capital of the world. Yeah, okay.
I was like, meanwhile, Los Angeles got like Round 2 and all these other big, bowling alley fighting game meccas and super arcades moving to a brand new, bigger building and stuff like that. They're gonna have indoor streaming. Like, no, we've got a strip mall where we play old 35-year-old games, and we'll stream it on YouTube.
And we're gonna have a museum.
And we're gonna have it. Where's that museum coming, buddy? Everybody was gonna donate to that big museum. It ain't coming. If you want to donate to a video game museum, go to Joe Santulli over at Digital Press. Do his video game museum that they're planning on getting opening. He actually has the stuff to put into it, and he's got really interesting stuff to see. I mean, he goes around to Classic Arcade Game Expo. If you're ever in Vegas and you get to see the traveling display, wait till you see that in a fully fledged place. That's going to blow people's minds. The stuff that man has is absolutely incredible.
Yep.
And Gerard and I can say, because we've been in the basement of Digital Press. And you just sit there like, with don't touch anything, just look at everything, and just sit there and admire it. And that thing, I want to be there when they open up, because that place looks incredible. It's going to be incredible when hopefully they get it off the ground, but it doesn't sound like something until like 2017 or 2018, because they have to get all the funding and stuff that they need, and obviously find a place that's going to be... and
we're kind of getting off topic, but at least in Joe's case, he's giving himself an adequate time limit. The museum in Iowa, was it like a year or something? And weren't they talking about like a 20,000 square foot building? Some insane... Yeah,
they were making up... It was going to be like the Papa facility, but like even bigger than the Papa facility.
And it's like they don't understand how much money just electric alone would kill that.
My favorite was... I think it was the Richie Knuckles Invitational, because that was when Robert Murchek was still there. And Robert Murchek, he goes, now, you're telling me, Robert Murchek, for the people that don't know who Robert Murchek is, Robert Murchek was pretty much the glue, the bond of the original Twin Galaxies. If you watch King of Kong, he's the guy that has to review the tapes. And he's also in Chasing Ghosts as well, where he has his art collection that makes the movie from a PG-13 to a rated NC-17 film, just because of the art that he has. It's very persuasive, or promiscuous, I should say. So he's like saying to me, like, they want to have every game ever made running at exactly the same time. And he goes, let me factor in. And he's like, he takes out a calculator, and he starts literally right there, as we're at the arcade during this event, crunching the numbers, and we're all standing around, and all of us are looking at him like, huh? And he's like, so, let's say you have 500 games, like this 500 games, and they'll have to run on power. Let's say it's like this much a kilowatt hour to run that.
And he was pulling real numbers based on, I think New York or New Jersey.
City.
Yeah.
I was like, they're not going to be New York City numbers. We're talking about Iowa. Robert's like, yeah, I get it, but let's just say he's going to do it in New York. Like that. And goes, I'm doing it on the numbers that I know. Like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to debate you. It's like, it'll cost him $35,000 alone in electricity just to run this place. It goes, you're telling me you're going to get all these people to come to Iowa and that's not even going to pay the electric bill. We're not talking about the other utilities. How are they going to do this? I was like, this is the only guy that thought this through, was Robert. I'm telling you, as soon as it left, that's when, well, thank God Jace Hall's got it. He seems to really be, he's doing it right. He's getting, I think they're going to be reopening the submissions.
That's good.
So good luck to them, We got to wish everybody the best of luck. That's the way we are here at the Arcade Hunters. We wish, John Trudeau and all his team at Stern, Sam is dead, long live Spike. What we're going to say, Sam is dead, long live Spike. The WrestleMania podcast.
There's the title.
Yep. It's SAM. Sam is dead, long live Spike. The WrestleMania episode. So, folks, thank you for listening to us ramble for the past hour or so. on the Arcade Hunters podcast. Once again, we're on all of your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and of course Twitter. If you want to look us up, just look up the Arcade Hunters. We're very easy to find. TheArcadeHunters.com is our main website. And if you're listening to us over on YouTube, we want to thank you very much. Thumb up the video. Let us know that you listened to it. Leave a comment below. And of course, if you're listening to us over on the iTunes, we would appreciate it if you gave us an open and honest review. That'll make it easier for folks to find us. And if you leave us a nice review, we'll read it live on the air or whenever the hell we tape it.
Yeah.
So, Gerard, you want to close out and say goodbye to all the kids? And
you did a good job covering everything. Happy New Year, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you later here on the Arcade Hunters podcast.
See ya. Okay, I hit record, and who do you remember? Do you remember who starts this one off?
I'll do it. I have to see what number we're on.
I believe it's 28.
Let me see. Oh fuck! Keeps going to arcade-hunters.com. It's got the Newsday crossword answers.
I told you that. I mentioned that before. I think it was like a few episodes.
Why does it have the Newsday crossday answers? Why does it have the answers?
Fucking crossword answers. What does that have to do with arcade games?
Yes, you're right. It's 28. All right, so.